Ebusia for Hanum Ghana politics avenue so. Yabmo bibia akwaba shonko so. So much penny about Ghana politics avenue so. Be sure say Afenyo abejumedi kese so like it, share, subscribe to the channel. Send a political trending news the echo the baby Ghana politics avenue so depend so be promo na be for any the for any political highway so no. Nsem bebre na yaso akwakote ma ye fam be bomo my pansan munchemo Afenyo Markins or minority leader at the NPP Amamokono, or Ababituna Nimutu, or Baba Cancer Mibri, or Chimachimubium say, or Chimbium politics is not about propaganda, politics is about speaking the truth for the nation, that a Krumano Yama or Mwaka Sanso. As I say, or Chimubium say, or Becano Cray, Elusu, a dignity, Nidi Kope, set Pepperman Kruna, and watching say, Mahama, a form business now or the biggest business the near Japan the biggest business our congratulations John Domani Mahama one in your pounds or or actually if senka election say baby party and can be papa results no cromunya can they get more than that it was for me better Jemon Brabos mommy uncle you go to on one number 2 in some okafa we do be a or jebre ehujumedi I say mommy uncle tea that was
a platform like this in itself is a good initiative, and I commend the Chief of Staff and his friends who came up with this idea for at least creating a platform for a voice to be heard, where all the parties are brought together. So the Kwewu Business Forum initiative, from the view of an entrepreneur, is a perfect platform. Now, what we need to do beyond it is to have some actionable resolution.
True.
Where we would follow through. So, for instance, after first edition, coming to second edition, we should be able to say that in first edition, this is what we did. Particularly for small businesses. A lot of young Ghanaian ladies are venturing into manufacturing. Some have their own professions and they ventured into this. There are religious leaders who are interested in entrepreneurship. There are others who, by their very nature, are entrepreneurs. So, this forum should go beyond politics. Although people complain that it's often populated by party members, it should be expected, but it should go beyond that. And in so doing, we need to create a certain base, a base where we would nurture and grow businesses, a base where we would leverage. So, for instance, the area of mining, the area of oil and gas, that I told you that there is little presence of Ghanaians there. You force the policy makers. So once you have the president there, you take advantage of the president's presence to make your case, so that in formulating policies, it is done deliberately to assist or help local business. You see, I would do. In Ghana today, and I don't want anybody to get me wrong, most of the CSOs who undertake investigative journalism or critique on government actions and talk about corruption, and I'm not questioning the modus. I don't want to be misquoted. But unfortunately, whether by coincidence or whatever, all the exposures are against Ghanaian companies. But I know, I'm a businessman. Some of these companies, we are competitors. I know foreign firms that make it huge. They get $150 million contracts. They get $200 million contract. They get $50 million contract. When you are paying them, their accounts are abroad. Not a single CSO has ever come out with any expose against a foreign registered firm. That, to me, that coincidence is quite concerning. I must be honest.
Maybe there's nothing to expose.
Oh, please, I'm saying,
Yes.
just for argument.
Yes.
I'm throwing it out there, respectfully. Look, when this government came into office, I won't list them, but go to Parliament, look at the other paper. The juiciest contracts
Are going to foreigners.
are going to foreigners. Look at it. Go and look at it. I wouldn't mention now. But you get your parliamentary correspondent to look at the other papers from day one. From day one. Obianka Hunheyo. No, nobody sees anything wrong. I am not saying that a Ghanaian business must not be subjected to any scrutiny. But it is quite concerning that when a Ghanaian business is succeeding, we are up in arms against how it's succeeding. You get what I mean?
I get it.
So we have to look at it properly. Listen, the way the world politics is going, if you don't domesticate, you collapse. And NDC should not take things for granted. There's a huge disappointment out there. They will be shocked. If elections are held today, NDC would be shocked. What happened to us in 2024, theirs will be worse. I wish them well, though, because if the country succeeds, all of us will benefit, by the way. So I'm not looking at it from the political lens, but I'm looking at it in the national interest. That NDC, Mr. President, is exiting. I would beg of you, Mr. President, look critically at every single contract that gets out there. And at least make sure, if not all, at least any 50-50. I would do only 50-50. Deliberate. Mr. President must be deliberate. Get all the ministers to be deliberate. And it's not just being a Ghanaian company, but an indigenously owned Ghanaian company. You can have a Ghanaian company, foreign owned. By the way, I'm not against a foreigner investing in Ghana.
True.
I am also not against foreign investment in Ghana. I am not anti-foreign investor. But I'm saying is that contemporaneously, we must grow our own. Because whoever invests in Ghana, onye nisika na, odo sanse ko. He has to repatriate the money. Because it's also coming from a source. You can't question them. But if a Ghanaian makes it here, he stays here and creates a job. Now, I've said one thing. Let me say the other. I also have a problem with many Ghanaian businessmen who get state support and abuse same. And this is also another warning to the NDC in government today. And those young guys from among their stock who are being nurtured. Look, this morning is not for any political hypocrisy. It is to be expected that once a party comes into office, it will identify some young party boys who are business oriented. Kufuor did that for many businessmen. Akufo-Addo helped many youths to do business. But the problem is the abuse. Abuse is abenisika. Look, if you go to exit, people got the opportunity and abuse it. Those days, there used to be EDIF at Ministry of Trade. Go and check the records. Many Ghanaians got the opportunity and abused it. 1D, 1F, many got the opportunity and abused it. In the end, the politician must answer. No. I think that from the Kwewu Forum, as I'm also hitting government, that government should do it right. I am also saying that fellow Ghanaian entrepreneur, when the opportunity comes, don't abuse it. If you are given $2 million to start a business, Don't go and buy a car. Don't go to East Legon, to Ajingano or airport to buy a house and then turn around and say, I supported NDC to come to office. No, that is wrong. That means you don't support your president's legacy for the country. And in the end, it's the country that suffers. You get what I mean?
Okay.
So it's two ways. Once we talk about indigenous businesses growing, being given the opportunity, I also think that indigenous businesses must prepare themselves with that level of discipline. Look, one sora no wonye sika o. Sika was in yansa na was pesika. You use wisdom, you use patience. Industry is asking for patient capital. But I know that patient capital requires a long-term planning. By the way, when I say patient capital, I'm talking about that capital that is long-term, that has low interest, that gives you the space to pay after 10 years or 15 years. But again, the policy must be said that in supporting this, it would also be sure that you have systems in place to sustain that. Because if the man is 60 years and is asking for patient capital of 15 years, which is, say, 10 million, and the government or the regulation, the institution of state is not too sure, or the bank is not too sure, that you have a succession plan that will allow that you are 60, in 15 years you'll be 75. You'll be so weak, you may even be dead and gone. What are the support systems you have in place? If they are not sure, they can't give you that patient capital. Meanwhile, you have a beautiful idea. So it is more about the attitude, how we approach this. You know, our workers, the Ghanaian workers' attitude must be one of ensuring the success of all. We don't have that attitude.
Right.
I'm sorry. So, on the national scale, I think that the government must try reintroducing what President Kufuor did, a national orientation program. The whole country needs a national orientation.
Right.
Because how do you started by saying that some critics say politicians play politics.
And dishonest bunch.
They are dishonest.
Yes.
So the ordinary man on the street also has a certain perception. So in the end, both are becoming dishonest.
Right.
Who wins?
Nobody.
Nobody does. Do you get what I mean? So I think that Mr. President and his government must begin an aggressive national orientation program which will trickle down to the grassroots level, where all of us will share in that dream. You know, when you talk about the American dream,
right,
it is a dream of success, survival, working together, ensuring that nobody is left behind. That spirit is there. The Americans have put it on the minds of people. If you go to the United States, people have the American flags, you know, hoisted on their walls, in their houses, in front of their doors, on their cars. Here, how many times do we even carry the national flag?
Because we're not clear about what is the Ghana dream.
That's what I'm saying, that it's not too late. Under this reset,
yes,
Mr. President can initiate it. By the way, Kufuor did it, all right? And you realize that certain conversations started. Because all the problems that we're talking about, trust me, we will be repeating ourselves all the time if we don't change our attitude.
Right.
Why would a Ghanaian businessman go and bring an expert to be his general manager? So that the workers, when they see Obroni, that's when they will be alert. Because there's a problem. So it's not only in the public sector, but it has found its way in the private sector.
True.
Sometimes when you are being too hard, your workers may find you too difficult. But that is the reality. Okay? In the office, the person knows that he has to report at 8 a.m. He will come at 10 and find an excuse. It's not cool.
True.
And then I think, again, we are over-investing in the white-collar certificates. I'm not against universities. I would do. But you go to Switzerland, yeah? A country like Switzerland has a policy that is deliberately encouraging apprenticeship, skill training.
Yeah.
So another problem that I've been talking about, which many people know, yet there is no political decision to champion a policy, is the skilled labor space. President Akufo-Addo started it by making TVET free. The STEM that was introduced, science, technology, innovation, mathematics, we invested in all the 58 NVTIs and then made it free. The effort there too was to ensure that we build a skilled workforce. Today, if you go to many of the sites, you go and meet Togolese, Nigerians, Burkinabes. They are carpenters, masons, tilers, POP. So the economy can record that so much jobs have been created, right? But the question is, the so much jobs created, which people benefited? Non-Ghanaians. It is not the creation of those people. It's our creation policy. So one area that President Mahama may have to look at strongly is the skilled labor, subsector. The training, continuing the Akufo-Addo program, and making deliberate efforts at ensuring that our youth see skill training as an alternative way. So I should be okay if my son comes to tell me, Daddy, I want to learn carpentry. Instead of saying, why are you not going to university? I'm a lawyer. Why do you want to be a carpenter? In Switzerland, they are doing that. People should not feel queer, shouldn't feel bad, shouldn't feel that I am a low-graded person, second-class citizen, if I have technical skill. But the person must have that pride, that happiness, that I chose that field, and this is my field, so that there is a balance.
Right.
Now, everybody is chasing that white-collar certificate, degree, degree. I'm not against acquisition of degree, but we are creating many more universities and choking the market with the degrees, and then the space that would also create the jobs, or where the job creation.
Nyame show bibi oji bre hedge mediwe. I don't know Ghana politics have been so much guru about politics there. Obini and Dichebi, Obini and Kemi. Dana here any other political updated news. A store from a hand here for the mama. So from Krubu, you nani actually a mama. Make sure also be like you, be sure be subscribe to the channel. Send a political trending news. The echo, the ebebiano. It told me once I bit maka, the animal dijuma, abu. Say, oh, and said, Caribbean son, I want to say, fashion comment section of Ghana politics have been Jumacono, and I'm moving home, come on, no more pass and pass, and we will be as and I'm bread, and I'm going to say, from Macram.